The video opens with a serene view of the ocean, waves crashing gently against the shore. A young man, standing alone on the rocky edge of a coastline, stares pensively at the horizon. The sun sets in the background, casting warm hues over the water. This imagery symbolizes a sense of longing and solitude. Simultaneously, there are glimpses of orcas swimming gracefully in the open sea, emphasizing themes of freedom and connection with nature. Through a montage, the young man's life begins to unfold. Quick flashbacks show scenes of a close-knit family, laughter around the dinner table, a parent teaching him how to swim as a child, and joyful moments spent by the seaside. The tone shifts as the mood becomes somber. The narration hints at a recent loss, likely of a parent, leaving an emotional void in the young man's life. Juxtaposed with this, we see orcas leaping from the water, as if celebrating their own freedom and vitality, creating a poignant contrast with the protagonist's grief. The young man is shown struggling to adapt to his new reality. In one scene, he walks through his now quiet family home, glancing at old photographs that evoke bittersweet memories. The camera lingers on a photograph of him as a child, holding hands with a parent near the ocean. Meanwhile, the video cuts back to the orcas, showing them playfully interacting with one another in their natural habitat. These visuals seem to serve as a metaphor for life's resilience and the healing power of nature. The scene transitions to the young man venturing out onto the same rocky coastline from the opening shot, but this time with a sense of purpose. He wades into the water, as if seeking solace or a connection to something greater. The orcas appear once again, swimming nearby, their movements mirroring the ebb and flow of emotions he experiences. The music swells, evoking hope and renewal as the video begins to establish a bridge between the man's internal struggle and the freedom represented by the orcas. At this moment in the video, the tone becomes introspective as Jesse, the young protagonist, grapples with the challenges of understanding his place in a fractured family while also trying to rekindle his bond with Willie, the orca. Jesse is shown standing near a calm, misty shoreline. He looks conflicted, his gaze fixed on the horizon. The camera zooms in on his face, revealing subtle but raw emotions of sadness and longing. In the background, the sounds of waves and distant orca calls emphasize his connection to both the ocean and Willie. This moment sets the emotional foundation for his inner struggle between isolation and the hope of rebuilding relationships. A flashback sequence appears, depicting Jesse's earlier moments with Willie. He recalls swimming alongside the majestic creature, feeling an unparalleled connection with the orca that seemed to fill a void left by his turbulent family dynamics. These memories are contrasted with moments of Jesse's strained interactions with his foster parents, highlighting the tension and his difficulty in fully accepting their care and love. The narrative shifts back to the present as Jesse ventures out to the water. Willie emerges dramatically from the depths, breaching the surface with a powerful leap. Jesse smiles faintly, a hint of the bond they once shared rekindling. The mutual understanding between them feels unspoken, but profound. It becomes evident that Willie represents more than a companion. He is a symbol of freedom, trust, and healing for Jesse as he navigates his personal struggles. Jesse begins to speak softly to Willie, sharing his fears and frustrations. This vulnerable moment highlights how their relationship acts as a therapeutic outlet for Jesse, providing him a rare space where he feels understood, without judgment. The scene ends with Willie circling gracefully in the water, a visual metaphor for the cycles of life, struggle, and reconciliation. The scene opens with Jesse and Nain aboard a small boat, drifting across a calm but expansive ocean. They chatter excitedly as they scan the water's surface for any sign of orcas. Suddenly, a large dorsal fin slices through the water nearby, followed by a pod of orcas emerging majestically. The camera captures their sleek, powerful bodies gliding effortlessly, reinforcing the orcas' grace and their critical role in the marine ecosystem. Jesse and Nain exchange wide-eyed expressions, overwhelmed by the privilege of witnessing such raw beauty up close. As the orcas swim closer, the mood shifts from excitement to a quiet, almost spiritual reverence. Jesse leans over the side of the boat, extending his hand toward the water. One of the orcas surfaces just beneath him, its massive form creating ripples that gently rock the boat. Nain watches in awe, capturing the moment on a handheld camera. The interaction exudes a sense of trust between humans and wildlife, underscoring the harmony that can exist between the two. The serene moment is interrupted by a distant but ominous sound. A dull, mechanical hum grows louder. The scene cuts to a wide shot of an oil tanker in the distance. Thick black smoke billows from its damaged hull as a narrator or voiceover explains that the tanker has suffered a catastrophic accident. The camera pans over the oil slick spreading rapidly across the water, contrasting the pristine ocean environment with the stark, man-made disaster. The orcas, sensing danger, begin to swim erratically, their earlier grace replaced by a sense of urgency. Jesse and Nain exchange worried glances, their joy now overshadowed by the grim realization of the impending environmental disaster. Jesse insists they must act, his tone filled with determination. The camera alternates between their boat and the tanker, emphasizing the scale of the threat posed by the oil spill to the orcas and their habitat. The tension builds as Jesse formulates a plan, aware that time is running out to protect the creatures he cares so deeply for. This section skillfully juxtaposes the awe-inspiring connection between Jesse, Nain, and the orcas with the stark reality of human-caused environmental harm. It sets the stage for the characters' moral and physical struggles to safeguard the marine ecosystem against the oil spill's devastating consequences. This moment in the video combines emotional depth and escalating tension as Jesse takes an active role in rescuing a wounded orca, Luna, amid the dire circumstances of the oil spill. The scene balances action with heartfelt character development, highlighting Jesse's courage, empathy, and growing maturity. The scene begins with Jesse aboard a rescue boat, surrounded by a team of marine specialists. The atmosphere is tense, with everyone focused on the task at hand. Luna, a young orca, is visible in the water nearby, struggling to swim due to an injury on her dorsal fin caused by debris from the oil spill. Her labored movements and distressed vocalizations convey her pain, heightening the urgency. Jesse, visibly emotional, leans over the edge of the boat, calling out softly to Luna as if to reassure her. One of the marine specialists briefs the team, explaining that Luna's wound must be treated immediately to prevent infection from the contaminated water. They prepare a makeshift stretcher and begin strategizing how to safely lift Luna without causing further harm. Jesse volunteers to help, despite the specialist's hesitation due to his inexperience. His determination convinces them, and they include him in the rescue effort. This moment underscores Jesse's growth, as he steps into a leadership role despite the overwhelming stakes. The rescue operation unfolds with a mix of urgency and caution. Jesse and the team carefully position the stretcher under Luna while trying to calm her erratic movements. Oil-covered debris floats nearby, a constant reminder of the danger the orcas face. The camera captures close-ups of Jesse's face, showing his concentration and emotional investment. His bond with the orcas is palpable, as he speaks soothingly to Luna, his voice trembling with both fear and hope. As the team works to secure Luna, the scene cuts briefly to the larger environmental crisis. A wide shot reveals the spreading oil slick, now encroaching on the orca pod's territory. Other orcas are shown swimming in confusion, their movements increasingly frantic. The visual contrast between Luna's individual struggle and the broader disaster reinforces the stakes of the rescue effort. The team successfully lifts Luna onto the stretcher and begins administering first aid. Jesse holds her fin gently, whispering words of encouragement. His compassion and resolve shine through, even as tears well in his eyes. This moment reveals the depth of his connection to the orcas, emphasizing his role not just as a rescuer, but as an advocate for their survival. The scene ends with Luna stabilized, but still visibly weak. Jesse, now emotionally and physically exhausted, looks out at the horizon, where the damaged tanker looms ominously. The specialists discuss the next steps, including relocating the orca pod to safer waters. Jesse listens intently, his expression a mix of relief for Luna and determination to continue fighting for the orca's survival. This scene is pivotal in Jesse's emotional journey, illustrating his transition from a passive observer to an active protector of the orcas. It also highlights the broader theme of human responsibility in addressing the environmental damage caused by industrial activity. The moment serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life and the profound impact of individual actions in the face of collective challenges. This scene delves into heightened emotional stakes and escalating action as the young protagonist confronts personal loss and uncovers a sinister plot against the orcas he's striving to protect. The narrative weaves his emotional struggle with a sense of urgency, creating a powerful blend of tension and drama. The scene begins with the boy sitting alone in a dimly lit room, clutching a photograph of his adoptive family. His face is etched with pain and confusion, hinting at a recent falling out or loss. The photograph shows happier times, laughter, and unity, but now serves as a painful reminder of what he's lost. As he sets the photo down, the camera lingers on his expression, capturing his deep internal conflict, the ache of abandonment versus his determination to act. The focus shifts as the boy overhears a hushed conversation nearby. He cautiously creeps closer, his expression shifting from sadness to alarm. A pair of men, dressed in uniforms suggesting involvement with the oil tanker cleanup or wildlife management, are discussing a covert operation. Through snippets of dialogue, it becomes clear that they plan to capture the orcas, exploiting the chaos caused by the oil spill to justify their actions. The boy's eyes widen as he realizes the danger not only to the injured orca Luna, but to the entire pod. Determined to act, the boy sneaks out of the building and rushes toward the coastline, where the rescue team and his remaining allies are stationed. The music intensifies, reflecting his rising panic and the urgency of the moment. His footsteps splash through shallow puddles left by the tide, and he glances over his shoulder as if fearing he might be caught. The scene alternates between shots of his determined face and the tranquil but endangered orca pod swimming nearby, heightening the tension. Upon reaching the rescue site, the boy bursts into the room where the marine specialists are strategizing their next steps for Luna's recovery. Out of breath and visibly shaken, he frantically recounts what he overheard. The team reacts with disbelief and concern, realizing the enormity of the threat. One of the specialists grabs a radio to alert authorities, while another tries to calm the boy, who is visibly distraught. This moment underscores his growing responsibility, as he transitions from a witness to a key player in protecting the orcas. The scene concludes with a mix of urgency and resolve. The boy, now focused and determined, insists on warning the remaining members of his adoptive family about the plot. A specialist offers to accompany him, recognizing the boy's bravery, but also the potential danger he faces. As they prepare to leave, the camera pans back to the orcas, who remain unaware of the looming threat. The haunting calls of the whales echo in the background, reinforcing the stakes of the upcoming conflict and the interconnected fates of the boy, his loved ones, and the endangered orcas. This scene is a turning point, emphasizing the boy's emotional growth as he faces loss and betrayal while stepping into a protector role. It also deepens the narrative tension, setting the stage for an imminent confrontation with those threatening the orcas and their fragile habitat. This dramatic scene is filled with intense action, peril, and emotional resolution as Jesse and his friends, along with the orcas, find themselves caught in the aftermath of a devastating oil tanker explosion. This sequence showcases their struggle for survival, the strength of their bond, and the intervention of the Coast Guard to ensure their safety. The scene opens with a chaotic shot of the sea ablaze. Flames dance on the surface of the water as thick black smoke billows into the sky. Jesse and his friends are aboard a small, barely functional boat, desperately trying to navigate away from the inferno. The camera pans across their terrified faces as they work together to avoid debris from the explosion, which rains down around them. The intense crackling of the fire and the roaring sound of the tanker breaking apart create an overwhelming sense of danger. The situation worsens as the boat is nearly capsized by a massive wave caused by the tanker's partial collapse. Jesse grabs the edge of the boat, shouting instructions to his friends to hold on tightly. In the chaos, the ORCAS resurface nearby, their movements frantic as they try to avoid the fiery debris. Jesse locks eyes with one of the ORCAS, a poignant moment that underscores the mutual trust between them, even in the face of impending disaster. As the boat drifts closer to the burning wreckage, Jesse spots a Coast Guard vessel approaching in the distance. The team aboard the rescue vessel shouts through a megaphone, directing Jesse and his friends to steer toward them. The Coast Guard deploys a smaller rescue boat into the water, braving the intense heat and debris to reach the stranded group. Jesse and his friends frantically paddle toward safety, their faces reflecting a mix of fear and relief. The smaller rescue boat reaches Jesse's group just as a piece of flaming wreckage crashes into the water behind them, sending a spray of boiling water into the air. Coast Guard members extend their hands, pulling Jesse and his friends aboard one by one. Meanwhile, the ORCAS swim in a tight formation, staying close to the rescue effort but visibly distressed by the chaos. Once aboard the Coast Guard vessel, Jesse refuses to relax, pleading with the rescuers to ensure the ORCA's safety as well. The Coast Guard captain reassures him, explaining that their primary mission is to secure the area and mitigate further environmental damage. Jesse watches intently as the ORCAs slowly move away from the burning site, their graceful silhouettes illuminated by the flames. The camera captures Jesse's tear-streaked face, conveying both relief and lingering worry for the creatures he's grown to love. The scene concludes with a sweeping aerial shot of the Coast Guard vessel speeding away from the burning tanker, now a smoldering ruin on the horizon. The ORCAs are shown breaching in the distance, symbolizing their resilience and survival against all odds. Jesse and his friends huddle together, exchanging grateful glances, their bond strengthened by the harrowing experience. This climactic moment highlights themes of courage, teamwork, and the enduring connection between humans and wildlife. It emphasizes the urgent need for environmental stewardship and the bravery of those who risk their lives to protect others.